Hey guys, and welcome back to the ASX Investor channel, and welcome to another CEO interview. We are in the midst of earnings season, and there are a lot of company reports to unpack. And today we'll be discussing the story of Airtasker. They listed earlier this year. This is actually their first annual report coming to market as an ASX listed entity. It's a massive milestone for the company, and it's been a massive period of growth as well for the ASX ART story. We're welcoming back the CEO, Tim Fung, to the channel once again. We've had some great conversations before. I'm looking forward to unpacking all of the numbers once again. Tim, welcome back, mate.
Thanks for having me.
It is always a pleasure to have you here. As always, we'll discuss all of the numbers and the announcements, but we'd love to just take a bit of a check at the moment of the pulse of Airtasker. How have things been going, and a reflection on that first year on markets?
Well, I think the first year of being a public listed company has really been something that, when we went into it, we didn't know exactly what we were getting into, and it's a bit of a one-way door. But in hindsight, I think it's been a great decision. It's been really, really helpful for us to, sort of move from having 30 investors up to 18,000 shareholders now. And that's obviously been a journey, but the fact that we've been able to meet the promises that we set out for our shareholders and be able to build trust with those shareholders, I think it's been something that's been really, really positive. So far, so good.
Wonderful to hear. And if we're thinking back to March earlier this year, when you're looking forward to the first annual report now, are you where you thought you'd be? Is this exactly what you thought, or what's taking you by surprise? And what have been some of those areas that you're really proud of as well?
So certainly in terms of the forecast that we set out to achieve, we're well ahead of where we said that we would get to, which is great. So I think at a high level, we set out that that we would hit around $24.5 million of revenue. We actually ended up hitting more than $26.6 million of revenue. So that was up 38% year on year, and well ahead of what we had said. So certainly from like the financials and the numbers levels, we're well ahead of where we said we were going to be and what our expectations were. In terms of what's been surprising, so I think the COVID pandemic has obviously been really, really was a surprise that, we've been living with, through parts of FY20 and of course all of FY 2021. But it has been surprising the way that the community and the economy has sort of responded. And some of it's been intuitive, some of it was less intuitive. But what I think has been really great for us is that our marketplace is open and horizontal. And what that means is it's really adaptable and flexible to changes in the market. So, when bike services went through the roof, but, perhaps domestic cleaning came down, our marketplace was able to adjust. And we were able to help our service providers, our taskers, be able to utilize their skills in order to adapt to the situation. And I think that is something that is unique to Airtasker's model compared to, maybe a food delivery app or a ride-sharing app. It's a very, very flexible model. So that's paid off well.
The scalability is definitely a fascinating aspect of Airtasker. Of course, that culminates in where we are today. The annual reports come out. You smash forecasts as well for GMV. 1 million customers all the way through, which is a big milestone too. Would love for you just to call out some of those key numbers that you thought were important for investors to know after today.
So I think the North Star metric that we look at in terms of the growth in the marketplace is what we call gross marketplace volume, or GMV, and that in many companies would be referred to as sales or revenue, like for an e-commerce company. For Airtasker, we don't put that on our P&L, and that sits above our P&L, but it's effectively the sales or the transactions that happen through our marketplace. So getting to $153.1 million was really, really an exciting achievement, and that was up 35% year on year. We maintained our gross margin of 93%, which I think really reflects the fact that Airtasker's got this light touch operating model, which is really, really scalable. So we don't try to get in there and control how people do things. We actually empower them, create a transparent, accountable marketplace, and that's what helps our model scale and generate those margins. And then I think ultimately, what we're really proud of is that over the last 2 years, we've focused on building up the fundamentals of the company. And what that meant is we were able to achieve positive operating cash flow of $5.5 million during FY21 and generate about $46 million of cash, which is on our balance sheet, to invest into the future. So by being cash flow positive and having that opportunity to invest into the future, we've really set ourselves up for the coming year. And look, I think there's going to be, of course, in FY22, there's already been challenges with lockdowns across Sydney and Melbourne, etc. And of course, in our US and UK markets, we're now entering the counter seasonality. So whilst Australia is booming, the UK and the US are moving into snowy nights and short days. So there's going to be those combinations going into FY22, and of course challenges. But really, really exciting about what we've achieved this year and how it sets us up to deliver into FY22.
And as a team looking forward to FY22 and beyond, you've identified 3 key areas that you want to invest into: the marketing, the superstore, and then the international business. We'd love to just unpack those first two, the marketing and the superstore first. How are you looking forward to those, and how's everything been playing out so far as you start to invest into them?
So marketing has been really, really exciting. So in FY21, we actually only spent about $1.6 million in paid and direct marketing to generate about $153 million in that top line sales. And so what you can see there is that this is massive opportunity to invest a suitable percentage of revenue back into brand and marketing. So everything that we've done so far has been, effectively organic growth driven by the product and the community. And that will continue to be our core growth engine. But of course, investing into brand and marketing is something that's very, very exciting. So we brought on board a new CMO, Noelle Kim. She's come across as from head of growth at Instagram. That's going to really help us to take that knowledge that she's built and that experience that she's had and be able to deliver and execute at Airtasker. In terms of our superstore, so listings, our new marketplace model, which is designed to unlock new service categories, has really been growing well. We've seen sort of 24% compound weekly growth in bookings going through this new model, which is very, very exciting to see. We are actually also working on another new marketplace model, which is designed to help existing taskers work with existing customers on those repeat transactions post the first transaction, which I think is really exciting. And we've also made a very significant new hire in the role of Chief Product Officer. So we're going to be able to announce that in the coming weeks, which we're really excited about. So all of those things together mean that I think marketing and product at Airtasker have a really long way to go, which I'm excited about.
It's fascinating. And you mentioned a couple of times there, speaking about personnel, we know how important that is for companies as they continue to grow. So new chief product officer, a new CMO coming in. Of course, we've heard just recently some news today that your chairperson, James Spenceley, was elevated to the board at NAB. Can you speak about what that will mean and how significant that is for validation of what you're doing at Airtasker?
Well, I think, one of the reasons why NAB would have been attracted to James, of course, he's got massive experience in building companies from the ground up before. But also it's great to think that maybe Airtasker has played a part in that journey and being able to have him have such great insights into the services economy and creating jobs in Australia, which I think is relevant to NAB's direction. At the very least, I think the number one thing to say would be congratulations to James. It's a massive appointment, and I've been really, really proud to have been part of his journey, and for Airtasker to have been part of his journey to get to what I imagine is one of the biggest board positions that you could take in Australia. So massive congrats to James.
Yeah, it's a massive appointment. So congratulations. And would love to come on to the third part of the pillar then. You spoke about the first two. Of course, international expansion is something that Airtasker is going to continue to push for moving forward. The UK and US markets, how's the rollout going so far and what are you anticipating the next period will look like?
Yeah, so I think certainly into the next quarter, you've got the inverse seasonality to Australia. So I think you're really going to start to see the skates come on in the second half of this financial year. We've started making some really, really great progress in both the UK and the US. So you talked about personnel there, and we're going to have some exciting announcements to make around some hires that we've made in that space, and that is really laying the foundations for growth, is getting the right people in place and making sure they're empowered to be able to deliver. And so, we've started from a standing start when it comes to both of these markets. So it's great to be having those people in place in the UK. In the US, Bo Fishback and his team are doing an awesome job. So we're now live, Miami, Kansas City, Dallas, and shortly into Atlanta as well. So I'm really, really excited about rolling out that city by city approach. But I think also it is really important to say here that we know that Airtasker is going to be able to scale into these markets. We've seen that in the UK. When we invest into these markets, we absolutely get the growth. What we're trying to figure out now is how do we do that most efficiently and most in the fastest possible time. And we're trying to balance those two things off. So I think the next few months is still about figuring out the learnings. Like that is what we are trying to do. And, that PDF that we have of the playbook to launch into future cities, that is where the gold is. So as much as we're pushing to get runs on the board, and we're very confident of hitting our FY22 forecast that we've set up for international expansion, I think the real gold is in that PDF playbook.
It is an exciting time. It's been a rapid start to life for ASX ART. As you mentioned, coming onto the market, you had around 30 shareholders. You've now got 18,000 plus at this time of the report. It's a phenomenal period of growth. We'd love just to hear some final reflections for those who have followed the journey since the start, or those who might be looking at ASX ART now as prospective shareholders. Did you have any final reflections you wanted to share with them?
Well, I think ultimately this would be a great opportunity to thank the taskers on our platform who make what we do possible at Airtasker, and also to thank the Airtasker team. So every person who's been along this journey for us over the last 9 years has played a critical role in getting us to where we are. And I think it's really been heartening to see that everyone is absolutely focused on the mission of Airtasker, empowering people to realize the full value of their skills. And I think if we continue to be focused on that mission, the results in the share price are gonna happen. I'm really proud of the team for being able to start with the mission and then deliver the results off the back of that.
That is the Airtasker story. It's ASX ART. If you guys did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit the like button. Feel free to share it out. We make daily videos, so if you're new, make sure you subscribe and turn the bell notifications on. Tim, congratulations. It's a milestone day for the Airtasker story, but there's plenty more to come moving forward, I'm sure. Thank you so much for joining us, and talk soon.
Thanks for having me.